The final whistle goes, and Germany have lost. The scoreboard says it plainly: Ecuador 2, Germany 1. The German bench sinks. A nation that has not survived a World Cup group stage in 12 years has just been beaten in its last game by a team ranked far below it. And yet, somewhere in the stadium tunnel, a German staffer is smiling. Because here is the impossible thing you're about to watch us prove. This defeat did not send Germany home. It crowned them. They lost the match, and they won the group. Tonight, the table lied. For 90 years, the World Cup ran on one brutal piece of common sense. The group stage is a gauntlet. You play 3 games, and your last one is usually the one that decides everything. Win, and you go through. Draw, and you sweat. Lose your final group match, and in almost every case, you pack your bags and fly home. That was the law of the tournament. A giant losing its last group game to an underdog was an obituary. So when Ecuador beat Germany, every instinct built over decades screamed the same word: eliminated. Hold that instinct, because the rules just changed underneath it. This is Group E, 4 teams. Germany, the wounded former champion chasing redemption. Ivory Coast, fast, fearless, quietly brilliant. Ecuador, organized and stubborn, the kind of team nobody enjoys drawing. And Curaçao, an island of barely 150,000 people, here to make history just by showing up. On paper, 2 advance and 2 fall. That is how groups have always worked, but the new format does not keep that promise. In this tournament, finishing 3rd in your group is no longer a death sentence. Remember that. It is the hinge the whole night turns on. Before the final round, Germany looked like a team that had finally remembered who it was. They had taken Curaçao apart, 7 goals to 1, a statement of raw force. Then they had edged Ivory Coast 2-1 in a tight, nervy classic. 2 wins, 6 points, a goal difference glowing in the positive. They walked into their last match needing, on the old math, almost nothing. A draw would do. Even a narrow loss, they suspected, might not be fatal. That suspicion is the seed of everything. Because Germany did not go to Ecuador to attack, they went to manage. And management tonight would look a lot like surrender. And for 2 minutes, the script wrote itself. The whistle blows, Germany moved the ball with that old, arrogant rhythm, and in the 2nd minute, Sane finds a yard of space and finishes. 1-0, Germany lead. In the stands, German fans exhale. This is the comfortable evening they were promised. Top the group, choose your knockout path, send a message to the rest of the tournament. For 120 seconds, the table everyone expected is exactly the table on the screen. Germany first, cruising. Nobody watching could have guessed that this early goal was about to become the least important thing that happened all night. Then Ecuador remembered they had not read the script. 7 minutes after Sane's goal, in the 9th minute, Angulo strikes back. 1-1. The German lead, gone almost as fast as it arrived, and something shifts. Ecuador are not parking the bus and praying. They are pressing, biting, playing like a team that smells an upset. Germany settle into caution. They keep possession, slow the tempo, protect what they have. It is a perfectly rational plan. It is also, in hindsight, the plan of a team that thinks it cannot truly lose. Ecuador are about to test that belief. For the next hour, the game sits in a strange, charged stillness. Ecuador push and probe. Germany absorb and recycle. To the neutral, it looks like a contest. But across the other Group E fixture, a second story is unfolding in parallel, and it matters just as much. Ivory Coast are taking care of Curaçao, climbing to 6 points of their own. Suddenly, the math is alive. Germany and Ivory Coast level on points. The whole group balanced on tiny margins. Who beat whom? By how many goals? Scored where? Germany do not know it yet, but they are no longer playing only Ecuador. They are playing a spreadsheet. 77th minute, the moment that should have been a catastrophe. Ecuador work the ball wide, the cross comes in, and Plata rises to bury it. 2-1 Ecuador. The home crowd erupts. Germany are now losing their final group game, the exact scenario that for 90 years meant the journey was over. The cameras find German faces, drawn and pale, doing frantic arithmetic. There are 12 minutes left to find an equalizer, and they cannot. The whistle is coming, and it is coming on a defeat. Every old instinct says this is the end of Germany's tournament. Every old instinct is about to be wrong. Full time, Ecuador 2, Germany 1. Take the old World Cup and freeze this frame, and the headline writes itself: holders humiliated, giants going home, and island's neighbors send Germany packing. The German players slump to the turf. The Ecuadorian bench sprints onto the pitch, and for about 30 seconds, the entire stadium believes it has witnessed an elimination. It has not. What it has actually witnessed is one of the strangest survivals in the history of the competition. Because while Germany were losing on the grass, they were quietly winning somewhere the cameras could not point. In the cold geometry of the final table. Here is the twist that breaks your brain. When the dust settles, Germany have 6 points, and Ivory Coast also have 6 points. Level. Identical record at the top of Group E. So how do you separate 2 teams tied on points? You go back to the night these two played each other. And on that night, Germany beat Ivory Coast 2-1. Head-to-head. Germany hold the tiebreaker. It does not even come to that, because Germany's goal difference is +6 against Ivory Coast's +2, padded by that 7-1 demolition of Curaçao. By every measure, Germany finished first. Sit with that, because it is genuinely bizarre. Germany lost their final group game and finished first, not second, scraping through. First, top of the table, name in bold, best seed available. The defeat to Ecuador was real, painful, and on the night, total. But the tournament does not crown the team that played best in the last 90 minutes. It crowns the best three-game body of work. And Germany's body of work, the early thrashing and the head-to-head win over their nearest rival, was strong enough that one loss could not knock them off the summit. The table outvoted the scoreboard. Now turn the lens on Ecuador, and the night gets stranger still. They won. They beat a former world champion, and it left them third in Group E with 4 points. In the old 32-team World Cup, third place meant a flight home, full stop. But this is the 48-team format. 12 groups and the 8 best third-place teams advance into the round of 32. Ecuador's 4 points and their gutsy win over Germany were more than enough to make that cut. So the team that lost went through, and the team that beat them went through too. One result, 2 qualifiers. Read that one more time because it is the heart of the whole story. A German defeat sent Germany into the knockouts as group winners and sent Ecuador in as a qualifier on the very same night. In the old format, this is impossible. A team beating a giant would more often than not be celebrating its own survival while ending the giants. Here, both stories are happy endings. The loser advances first, the winner advances anyway, and the only team going home is Curaçao, the island that gave the world a story just by being in the room. That is the format quirk made flesh. But let me be honest with you, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. There is a catch, and it cuts at the soul of the group stage. If a giant can lose its last game and still finish first, and the team that beats it still goes through, then what exactly was that match for? The drama you felt watching Plata score was real, but it changed almost nothing. Critics say the expanded format has quietly drained the jeopardy out of the group stage, turning win-or-die nights into low-stakes exhibitions where even defeat is survivable. When losing costs you nothing, the whole point of competing starts to dissolve. And yet, there is a real defense, and it deserves a fair hearing. The new format gives small nations like Curaçao and Ecuador a genuine path, a reason to dream that the old 32-team wall slammed shut. More teams alive deeper means more nations watching, more upsets that matter. Yes, Germany survived a loss, but only because they earned a cushion across 3 games, not 1. The format did not erase jeopardy, it moved it. The drama is no longer only in the last group game. It is in the slow accumulation, the goal difference, the head-to-head ghosts that come back to decide everything. So here we are, back in that tunnel with the German staffer who would not stop smiling. Germany lost and still won the group. Ecuador won and went through anyway. Curaçao lost everything but a place in the story. A tournament that ran on one rule for 90 years just rewrote it in a single night. Whether that is genius or sacrilege, you decide, and I want to know which side you land on. But understand what you watched. The scoreboard said Ecuador 2, Germany 1. The table said something else, and in this new World Cup, the table is the only thing that tells the truth.